story dates back to about a year and a half ago when my daughter was around 4 months old. Me being 26 female. I had just moved with my then significant other to a dangerous part of town, but the street we moved to wasn't too bad. Everyone knows their neighbors and everyone seems to get along. Well, since everyone in the neighborhood chats with each other, one of my neighbors warned my significant other and me about a homeless woman that parks her van on the street and harasses everyone who walks by her car, and to try and avoid her as best as possible. Side note, parking in this town is street parking only, no reserved parking spots. This will have a significance later. I thought, meh, that's one small downside to living here, along with the street parking. Not that big of a deal as long as I avoid her, right? So the next day after our neighbor's warning, after returning home from a long day at work and picking up my infant daughter, a homeless lady, really slender, meth head, wearing what appeared to be newish clothes, breath reeking of something foul, is walking up the left side of the sidewalk, screaming up a storm at these teenage kids who looked terrified. The teenagers aren't engaging her, they just keep walking and looking at each other with uncertainty. I stayed on the right side of the sidewalk, even though I knew I'd have to cross the small street to the left where my apartment was located. My daughter wakes up from her nap in my arms and begins to coo. A homeless lady spots me crossing the street with my purse, work bag, my baby, and her baby bag, and decides it's a good idea to come up and chat me up about her conspiracy theories as I'm walking up to my apartment. Fine, no big deal. At least she's not bothering the kids anymore. Then, as I'm fumbling to get my keys to open the gate that leads to my complex, she asked me for money. I told her the truth. I'm sorry, but I don't carry cash on me. All the while trying to hold on to my baby, find my keys, and hold all my bags. Her response, stuck up bitch. Then she continues muttering under her breath, which I must repeat was rank, and starts harassing more kids down the block. A couple months go by and she continuously comes up to harass me, as if she doesn't recall who I am every single day. Every day I politely apologize and say I need to get home, or I don't have any money, still, or I simply don't have time to chat right now. Every answer I gave her was met with an insult, both directly and under her breath. At this point, I am still not concerned. I've always had a soft spot for the homeless, and I'm aware that this lady has severe mental illness. I always apologize for not having money to give, even though the insults. One night around midnight, my daughter wakes up crying horribly. My significant other and I take her temperature, 103 fever. I tell him it's time to take her to the emergency room, immediately before it gets worse. We gather everything up, and I gently take her from bed and lay her against my chest. She's so helpless, weak, burning hot, and whimpering terribly. I still want to tear up thinking about it to this day. So as we walk out of the apartment, my SO says he will run down 3 blocks to grab the car. Remember, it's all street parking, so we often had to park blocks away. I say, okay, I'll stand in front of the apartment so he can just pick us up and we can book it to the ER. Wrong choice. I watch as he ran all the way down the street and turned the corner out of sight. Then I look back at my baby and start rocking and cheering her so that maybe she could get a little bit of sleep or rest before being up at the hospital all night. Moments later, when I look up, the homeless lady walks around the same corner that my SO just ran around and makes a beeline straight toward me. I get a little uneasy as I have a sick baby in my hands, but maybe she'll leave me alone this time, right? That was wishful thinking to the max. The homeless lady, in a voice loud enough to wake up the entire block. Oh, hey there, sis. Daddy just told me that the baby's done being sick and needs a healer. Me, still trying to gently rock my baby as she startled back awake and wondering why the hell he told this lady about the baby being sick. What? Sorry? I said. I'm a healer, she said. My mama and I have been healers since birth. Give me the baby. Me, still trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, knowing she's mentally ill. Sorry, I'm waiting on her dad to bring the car around so we can take her to the hospital. Can you keep your voice down? She's trying to sleep. Nah, girl, I'm a healer. Didn't you hear me? I've already said I was a healer. You know what a healer is, don't you? Give me the baby. Now at this point, she reached out and put her incredibly dirty hands on my daughter's leg and foot, and wouldn't let go. Excuse me, let her go now. Give me the baby. She's very sick. You're waking her up. Stop. You bitch, let me heal her. If you don't let her go right now, I will kill you, I said. It was at this point that she and I locked eye contact, and her facial expression was what I can only describe as the most terrifying, evil look a person can give, with her eyes and smile widening with every passing second. The lady's face still haunts me. She then broke out in a laugh so loud and terrifying that I can't believe I didn't piss myself. By this time, my daughter was crying hysterically. My internal dialogue went something like this. Damn, where the hell is my SO? I'm going to have to set my sick infant daughter on the ground and kick this lady's ass just to get her to not kidnap my kid. It also crossed my mind that if I did that, I'd probably be the one arrested. Like a Hail Mary, my SO comes around the corner in the car and I reiterate to the lady that my SO is now here and if she doesn't stop bothering me, I will kill her. This finally struck some chord inside her brain and she took off running down the street, cursing profanities very loudly. My daughter's cry has me in tears too after being yanked so hard by this lady. I still wonder what would have happened if she yanked hard enough to take my sick daughter. My SO ended up admitting that he felt bad for her, so he told her that our baby was sick and even struck up a conversation with her about it. All the while, his daughter and I were waiting outside past midnight alone in a bad area for him. Needless to say, he's now my ex. He even later laughed about the entire thing and told me I was exaggerating and she was harmless. He also still struck up regular conversations with the woman after that, anytime he'd see her, and it infuriated me. I don't think anyone who would have seen the look in this woman's face would label her as harmless. She looked very much like she was ready to do harm.